Hey, it's a Humble Collector here, and today's video we're going to be doing another unboxing. It's pretty much all death cards this time, I'm pretty sure. Might be like one photo in there, but I guess we're going to have to see. So starting right off the bat here, we do have a few that I had to open the envelopes for beforehand, including a very interesting one, I guess, to start out with. If I can open this here. Yes, this is kind of an odd one. Death card for Johann Unterstoger, a Gefreiter in a Panzer snowshoe battalion, who fell on January 29th, 1942, in Chomyakova by Bokov. But yeah, I've never seen a Panzer snowshoe battalion before. I'm not really sure what that would be, like a mechanized snowshoe battalion. I really don't know. I'm curious to do some research on that one. Then moving into these cards here. Okay, the first one we have here is for Anton Scherfler, who is a machine gunner in a Gebersjäger regiment, who was killed on September 21st, 1942 in the East. But yeah, we have a really neat photo here with him and his instrument. Names escape me right now, but he must have been in an orchestra maybe prior to the war. But yeah, kind of a neat one there. I like the unique photos and death cards. Most of them follow very similar patterns. A lot of them are studio photos, but every now and then you get kind of a unique one. And then here we have a death card for party member Johann Zauner, who was an Unterzugführer in the Bahnschutzpolizei, who looks like he was killed on June 17th, 1944 in the East at the age of 33. And last card in this bundle here, it's a 4-panel for Josef and Fritz Huber. Josef Huber was a soldier in an infantry regiment and was killed September 2nd, 1939. So that is day 2 of the Second World War. And his brother Fritz Huber, who was an Obergefreiter in a flak battery, bearer of the Flak Badge and the Eastern Front Medal, who was killed on August 25th, 1943 by Kharkiv. But yeah, so I picked this card up specifically because Josef here killed second day of the war. I still have yet to find an elusive September 1st, 1939 death card. Hopefully one of these days I'll be able to pick one up because that'd be really, really interesting. Because I know I have one for somebody who was killed the last day of the war. So having a card for somebody killed on the first day of the war as well kind of be like an interesting set to have together. So moving into the envelopes here that we have to open. Alrighty. Looks like we might have a period postcard in here as well. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Oh, we got 2 maybe? Looks like they're taped together. Interesting choice taping right onto the postcards if they are older. Maybe they're just aged. Alrighty, so opening this up here. Oh, they're not that old. It's kind of a nice scene. And then we got a church scene there as well. This is the death card of Xavier Bach, who was a Gefreiter in a Gebersjäger regiment, but he was killed April 8th, 1941 at the Yugoslavian-Greek border. So that's kind of an interesting one there. Don't think I have anything from that region. Moving to the next envelope here. So I apologize, there's a lot of cuts in this video. I seem to not be able to speak this evening. We have the card of Max Ibrel, who is an Obergefreiter in a sharpshooter company, bearer of various awards, veteran of the campaigns in the West and the East, who was killed or died on October 9th, 1944 in a hospital at the age of 25. So yeah, sharpshooter company, definitely something you don't see very often. And I'm actually going to pull out my jeweler's loop here, just take a look at that. And yeah, that photo looks genuine, so good to go there. If you're curious how you can tell if a death card's original or a reprint, I have a good video that I'll link up there that I did last year. So the next envelope we have, this one might be a photograph. Not 100% sure, because I do have one photo that should be coming in. It looks like we have another sales invoice there. And no, actually, this is another death card. And interestingly enough, I don't think I've had a sharpshooter card on the channel before. And now we have a second one. This is for Hubert Kirsch, who was a grenadier in a grenadier regiment, Um, and I know that the seller had done research on this guy. Maybe it says on the sales invoice here. Yeah, I know the seller in his listing had posted the guy's casualty record as well, that he was also in a sharpshooter unit, which is kind of odd that I got two at roughly the same time. Oh, here it is. That's why. Okay, so Peter Alfred Meiser, Gefreiter and sharpshooter in a Panzer Grenadier regiment. Okay, so this is Peter, and then the other gentleman here is Hubert Kirsch, who was actually in a penal battalion. That's right. So he's wearing a pre-war NSFK uniform, I think. I think that's what that is. Like one of the pre-war German like civilian flyer groups, I think. But yes, we have sharpshooter and penal battalion, so two really interesting cards there as well. So we'll go ahead and actually put those back in the sleeve. Want to make sure those stay safe. The last envelope that we have here in this unboxing is actually a collection of death cards that I bought from a fellow collector. He had offered them up for sale, and I'd actually helped him research a few of them, and was definitely very interested in picking some of these up. So we'll go ahead and get this open. Might have to open it off camera because the side with the flap is the side with the labels. And we have another envelope in there. Do not bend, very important. Let's see. Alrighty. We got a lot of cards here, as you can see. I think there's about 20, if I remember correctly. So the first thing here, I guess we'll start with this. This is a like an honor sheet, I think they're called, showing all of the men that have been killed during the war from Kreis Homburg. It looks at the top there. We can see there's a really nice multi-panel layout. Man, there's some really good photos on here too. I know I'd helped them research like one or two of these guys, but the rest of them are, at least by me, unresearched. So this is going to be a really cool, definitely going to be a long format video in the future. Sometimes you'll see that like different churches or organizations would actually have a big honor sheet hanging up in, you know, one of their like social halls or something. They come up on German eBay occasionally. You really don't see them here in the U.S. I want to pick one up eventually, but they kind of get a little pricey. So one of these days I'll pick one up. So we'll go ahead and get started here in this pile. That's kind of a nice, that's a really thick cardstock, actually. This is for Aloy Zebhauser, who's an Obergefreiter, and he was killed on February 8th, 1945, after 2 years of service in the East. And we can see we have a really nice picture of Aloy there in his Panzer uniform. So yeah, this collector that I bought these from, he was big into Panzer cards as well as Luftwaffe pilots. So there's going to be some really, really good stuff in here. Next card that we have here is for Unteroffizier Alfred Reinfeld, who's bearer of the Iron Cross First and Second Class, the Close Combat Class, the Assault Badge, the Eastern Front Medal, and various other awards, or the Wound Badge. He was killed on February 16th, 1944, near Shepetovka, from a granate splitter, so shrapnel. And we can see him here, yeah, he's got his Close Combat Class, Iron Cross, First Class Infantry Assault Badge. Unfortunately, a bit more of a worn card, but definitely a good one to have. I've always been a big fan of the design of the knockoff Spanish. I really need to pick one up, but they tend to be a bit more pricey. But someday. Next card we have here is for Hans Kraus, who was a Leutnant and Flugzeugführer, and he was killed on, or died on December 8th, 1942. And then we have Simon Helmberger, who was an Unteroffizier and Flugzeugführer in a Jagdgeschwader. And it looks like he was killed on March 12th, 1941, or he went missing March 12th, 1941, north of Cherbourg, in the Channel, maybe? Next card we have here is for Hermann Pfluger, who is an Unteroffizier and Flugzeugführer in a Kampfgeschwader. So you can see we have some nice pilot cards here, too. He was the bearer of the Iron Cross First Class, the Second Class, and the Bronze and Silver Front Flyer Spange. I don't have a ton of pilot cards either, so these would be really, really good addition to the collection. Next one is Leutnant Benno Eder, who was a Staffel captain in a Jagdgeschwader. Bear of the Iron Cross, first, second class, and it looks like he died on April 27th, 1944 in southern France. We can see he has an Iron Cross, first class. Not good at Luftwaffe medals, but there's one there. These are really nice. A bit of a stain card here. This is for Siegfried Lautenschlager, who was a Feldwebel and Flugzeugführer in a Jagdgeschwader, and he fell on November 25th, 1944 in an aerial battle in the West. We have Lorenz Fromm here, who is a Gefreiter in a Panzerabteilung, and a Melder in an infantry division. I don't know what that means, but he was bearing the infantry assault badge in silver. Interesting. So I wonder if did he transfer from infantry to panzers or vice versa? But we can see he's in his panzer uniform here. Very interesting. Definitely looking forward to researching that. We have Josef Meyer, who was a Metzgermeister son in Muldorf, Unteroffizier in a Panzer regiment, bearing the Iron Cross, second class, the Panzer Assault Badge, and the Wound Badges, who died on May 26, 1944 in Italy. Very nice. And then we have Karl Meyer, who was an Obergefreiter in a Fallschirmjäger regiment, who fell on February 1st, 1944. And then we have Richard Geiselbrecher, who fell on December 5th, 1942 in the East. We can actually see it looks like he has the Panzer sharpshooters lanyard there, which is kind of an interesting one. Next card we have here is for Xavier Stumpfel, who was an Unteroffizier in a Panzer Grenadier regiment, bearer of the Iron Cross, second class, the War Merit Cross with swords, veteran of the campaigns in Poland and France, died on January 31st, 1943 in a hospital in the East. We have Erwin Schonbrunner here from Passau. He was a Gefreiter in a Panzer regiment, and he was killed, or died in a field hospital on September 7th, 1943, near Kharkiv. Ooh, all right, that's a good one. Rudolf Weiss, Obergefreiter and Funker in a Panzer regiment, bearer of the Iron Cross, second class, the Panzer Assault Badge, the Wound Badge, the Winter Medal, the Winter Feldzug Award, and the Eastern Front Medal. Interesting. So what's the Winter Feldzug? I don't know, actually. And he fell in the heavy fighting in the East on September 26th, 1942. So one of the interesting things here is, and I'm checking this photo here, because this is one from the photos, I wasn't 100% sure, but that looks like it's a genuine print. But he's wearing the early Panzer Beret. So these were like a pre-war accessory. They were really only worn during the Second World War in the Polish invasion, and they kind of got phased out after that. So sometimes you'll see these in earlier photos. Very cool. It's a very rare piece of headgear. You don't see it in photos very often. The next card we have here is for Josef Gunzkoffer, who was an Oberfeldwebel in a Panzer regiment, bearer of the German Cross in gold, Iron Cross, first, second class, the Panzer Assault Badge, Eastern Front Medal, and the Wound Badge in silver. He was killed October 18th, 1943. So we can see here he has his German Cross in gold, Iron Cross first class, Wound Badge, Panzer Assault Badge. You'll notice these are actually painted onto his photo. Actually fairly common with these death cards is a lot of times the guys have their studio photos from when they first got their uniforms, but the families actually pay somebody to go in later and kind of add the awards in, kind of like an early photo editing kind of thing. But yeah, German Cross and Gold winner, very prestigious award, just under the Knight's Cross there. So definitely something you don't see very often. Then we have Hans Tischler, who is a Feldwebel in a Panzer regiment, who fell on August 7th, 1944 in Lithuania. And next one we have her, this is kind of an interesting one. I've had one or two of these on the channel before where it's like, I wonder if the printer was trying to save money or if it's like a, it's got to be like a money-saving thing, but you'll see that like it's a death card, but then they have like just a newspaper clip out pasted instead of just the normal text. Kind of strange. I haven't been able to find too much info on these ones, but this is Ignaz Ernst here, who is a Hauptwachtmeister in a Panzer Artillery Regiment, Zolitzführer in a Panzer Spa Troop in the Africa Corps, bearer of the Iron Cross Second Class, the Wound Badges, and some other awards, who was killed or died October 21st, 1941 in a field hospital in North Africa. So yeah, he's wearing his, oh gosh, it's escaped me now. It's his sun helmet. That's what it is. Pith helmet for the British, I guess. But yeah, sun helmet there. Don't see that in death card photos very often, even for the African campaign. Next up here, we have the card of Franz Rickel, who was a Gefreiter in the Panzer died February 13th, 1943. And then we have the death card of Josef Korstik here, a Funker in a Panzer artillery regiment, and he was killed. Oh, we have a nice little biography here. It looks like he was in the RAD in 1942, and it looks like he died sometime in 1943 in the West. Yeah, that'll be a really interesting one to research. This one looks like it has some mold. I might have to separate that one out from the rest of the group here. Just quarantine it, I guess, a little bit. It looks like it might be old mold. It might not be a problem, but I'll still separate it out just to be safe. We have another one here as well. Oh, that's a neat one. World War I era, I think? Yeah, for Peter and Dincents Kopf, or Hopf. Let's see, Peter was an infantry regiment list. Okay, that's pretty cool. He was killed, or missing as of October 30th, 1914. Wow, early war. And Dincents here, or Vincents, who was a member of the 12th Bavarian Infantry Regiment, and he died October 6th, 1918, in the Chennai Marne at the age of 22. Yes, these ones look like they were probably stored in a basement at some point. Yeah, that's probably where that mold's coming from. Still, what's good here is we have the names that we can research, the dates and everything. That's the important thing, at least for me. Like, obviously, it's nice to have good condition cards, but as long as I'm able to get the information I need to research, I'm happy. But yeah, like I said, this looks like it's really old mold. I don't think it'll be a problem, but I'll separate them out just in case. But yeah, no, overall, this is a really great set. There's actually quite a few cards in here I don't remember seeing from the photos that he was sending me when he was selling these. So thank you. You know who you are. I can't remember if you want to be mentioned by name in the video or not, but thank you for selling these to me. Really looking forward to researching them. So yeah, we have a lot of really, really good cards here. Panzer Corps, pilots, sharpshooters, penal battalions, snowshoe units. Really, just a really nice premium set of death cards. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while before I get to them. I do have like a first in, first out for researching cards generally, so they're going to go at the bottom of the stack, so it'll probably be a while before you guys see them again. But, occasionally when I have like, when we get up to like death card 200 or 300, I usually have I had a poll for death card 100 that people kind of pick if there was one they were really interested in seeing. So I'll probably do something again moving forward. So if any of these really stood out to you, kind of keep that in the back of your mind for that. But yeah, overall, really great set of cards. Very, very happy to have these in hand now. And yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you. Thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I'll see you all again very soon.